All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
The secret side of me, I never let you see. I keep it caged, but I can't control it. So stay away from me, the beast is ugly. I feel the rage and I just can't hold it. It's scratching on the walls, in the closet, in the halls. It comes awake and I can't control it. Hiding under the bed, in my body, in my head. Why won't somebody come and save me from this? Make it end. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I hate what I've become, the nightmare's just begun. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. It's hiding in the dark, its teeth are razor sharp. There's no escape for me, it wants my soul, it wants my heart. No one can hear me scream, maybe it's just a dream. Maybe it's inside of me. Stop this monster. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I hate what I've become, the nightmare's just begun. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I'm gonna lose control, it's something radical. I must confess that I feel like a monster.
White flag waves. Come on, Dino, bring it home. Dino can hear him yelling. He sees the checkered flag waving. He gets it done.
Works his way off turn number 4. Down here across the stripe. Jack hit. Will get your win.
Clevenger wins at the Lanier National Speedway. Checkered flag wave. Give it to Putt Putt.
Final lap. Here we go. Drag race down the backstretch. Who's it going to be? They're so tight coming here off the lead. And it's going to be, holy crap, it's going to be Christopherson. Dean Reynolds down here through 3 and 4. Coming up off, looking good and clean. He will get the win here at Lernerville. Patrick Spangler working off of 4. He will get your win here tonight at Lanier. That 280 and Jeff Sharp trying to close in on the 72.
Get there, checkered flag wave. William Watson holds on.
On the
Welcome to another night here with Finger Farm TV as we end up coming out here and running around. Forget the track name and I can't look it up at the moment as SDK is trying to update on me and it's not done yet. So bear with me as I work through the field here tonight. So qualifying about to come up and get started here. We'll see exactly who is out there on the front there. Looks like Brian Moore coming out there. There is the, there's Shaggy. There's the 09 and Ted York. There's Shaggy coming out for his lap up there along the outside. And they run there through turn 3 and 4. Back around here on to the back stretch. I'm getting turned around here. We'll see. I think this is the front stretch here. Down there in the corner number 1 and 2, there's the 89. There in the number 75. 89. Working down through turn 1 and 2. And I will get that SDK up as quickly as we can. It's been updating for a while now. I started updating here at 20 after 6. And it's not done yet. It's about 3/4 or maybe 2/3 of the way, so that is going to hinder me here a little bit here as we see the number 10 out there on track, or the X. I see the Yahoo machine there, 161. Qualifying coming here to an end shortly. And you see Shaggy sitting down there on pit road. They're set to rock and roll here tonight. Now we get set to rock and roll here with heat number 1. And pardon me, but this is not how I like to do the thing, but this is the best we're going to do here. So for heat number 1, we got Jeff Sharp starting out there on pole. Patrick Spangler there in second. Third is going to start at 513 there, Jeff Barker. Mason Hine there in the 89. Brian Moore there in the 55 will start there in 5th. Randy Shreves there in 6th with Billy Roberts there in 7th. Brad White rounds out your field there in 8th. They come here through corner number 1 and 2 for heat number 1 on the night. As I said, that is not how I particularly want to do the way I'd like to have this running tonight. But SDK's put me in a little bit of a bind here at the moment. And so yeah, we got just a little bit here of what we're trying to do. We see there we got laps on the board down there at the bottom. We'll just leave it kind of like this, I guess, for the time being. As it's just not what I wanted this to be. Well, I guess we'll do this. Go on every periodically. 8 laps to distance here tonight for the heat race. Coming there out of turn 4. That's not a good camera view. Down there through 1 and 2. Look at that 513 down there on the bottom. And we got the X up there on the outside trying to work his way up through there on that outside lane. Parker there in the 513, I believe, down there on that inside lane. 280 there in second. And he's sitting there coming off turn number 4 across the stripe. Gets it down there on that inside. That outside lane trying to come alive here. Up here against the outside walls, the 89 scraping that wall a little bit. And while I'm putting there off, this is lap number 4 of the 8. Coming around here will be lap 5 rather. That is the 89 coming there across the line. And they're battling there for third. Coming up through the field there. Coming off turn 4 down across the stripe. Parker there in third. They got the 280 there. Jeff Sharp, I believe, there in front of him. At SDK, I was hoping for it to be updated, but not. And there is the checkered flag. And that winner will be, as we look at the results here, going to be Patrick Spangler getting the win. Jeff Sharp there in second. Jeff Barker in third. Mason Hine gets fourth. Fifth going to Randy Shreves. Billy Roberts there in sixth. Seventh going to Brian Moore. And eighth, Brad Waite. Out here in heat number 2, the grid. Terry Landis will start there on the pole in that 161. Dean Reynolds to his outside in the number 79. The 72, Zach Chapman, will start to the inside of row number 2 there in third, with Jeremy Christensen there in fourth. In fifth tonight, that'll be starting Stephen Bixler, with John Clemaux Jr. there in sixth, and Bob DeGood in seventh. A little bit of frame hiccup here and there. Hopefully that's nothing too serious. Work there off turn number 4. Terry out there on that lead. And down and away, Terry Landis and Dean Reynolds out there in the front. Down across there out of turn number 4. Dean Reynolds getting a run on that high side up there, throwing sparks off turn number 4. Shaggy there in a third as they roll off turn number 2 down that back straightaway. Shaggy getting out there to the outside, going to try to battle Landis and Reynolds. He's up there into the outside wall hard that time. He's going to fall back. And now they work there off turn number 4 down near through 3 and 4. Now, I'm sorry, that was 1 and 2. Here off 4, there you see Shaggy falling way back. As you're watching Landis there in second. Got the 16 there in third. Reynolds out there in front. And they come there off corner number 4 down here in through 1 and 2. You're watching that 75 for a flat line, working its way up through the field. Sitting there trying to get a hold of third. Shaggy still trying to find something to get up there to battle. That didn't work here. Just a few laps left here. We're on lap number 6. 2 more laps to go, if I'm thinking correct. Then it come there. Landis ends up getting really loose there in turn 4. Got to try to gather it back up as they work there off of the corner number 2. That will do it. So it must be 6 laps of distance. As we see here, your finishing order. Dean Reynolds gets the win. Bixler there second. Landis there third. Jeremy Christensen will sit fourth. Zach Chapman there in fifth. Bob DeGood there in sixth. Clemaux Jr. gets seventh. Now here, starting in grid for heat number 3. Brandon Dittmer there out front, starting on the pole. Anthony McLaren there in second. Third starts Ted York with Joseph Brandy to his outside there in fourth. Fifth will start Pat Boyce with Alec Huber there in sixth. And then we got Michael Vecchio there in seventh. So once again, there you see Brandon Dittmer and Dan McLaren out there on that front row. Ted York down there in third. With Brandy up there on the outside in that 518. Working there off turn number 2. You got Ted York. Whoa, hang on to it. We got one a little loose back there towards the back. As you watch Randy up into the outside wall. He's going to gather it back up and then work down through turn 1 and 2. Now you got York there in third or fourth now as Randy gets up there into third. Up there at the front of the pack, you got them still battling it out. That is Brandon Dittmer and Dan McLaren. Dittmer down there in the 83 getting a little loose. McLaren up there on the outside will take the lead at the moment as they work down there into 3 and 4. Back around onto the front stretch. That track definitely getting slick here for these 360s tonight. And oh no, the 83 up into the outside wall. That's going to clear the way a little bit for Ted York on that inside line. And Ted going to make it grab, not enough, as the 83 gets a great run there out of the corner, then captures second place. McLaren out there in front getting that win. So your finishing position, Dan McLaren out there getting that win. Dittmer there second. Ted York there third. Joseph Grandy there fourth. Just Michael there in a fifth. Alec there sixth. And Pat Boys falls back into seventh. Oh, looks like it is time for warm-ups. We'll be back after this short message. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
All right, back here at the Speedway, as you can see, we got everybody out there getting some laps in, some carnage here and there. There's Ted York out there in the number 09 down across the bottom, and look how slick that track is here tonight. They come there through, and we're at I-55 tonight. That's the track we're at. You just watch Shaggy there in the number 72, the 89 there. Up Mason High. Lava corner number 4 down across the stripe here as warm-ups come to an end. All right, here we go. Ready for the feature event. Your grid will look like this. Starting out there on pole. That's going to be Patrick Spangler in the number 39, or rather the X there tonight. In second is Dean Reynolds driving at number 79. In second, third on that inside row of row number 2 is going to be Dan McLaren, with Jeff Sharp starting fourth. He is outside. Stephen Bixler there in a fifth will start inside row number 3 with Brandon Dittmer there in 6th. Jeff Barker there in 7th. 8th going to start Terry Landis with Ted York starting 9th. Mason Hine there in 10th. Jeremy Christensen there in 11th. The 12th spot going to be Joseph Grandy. The 13th spot going to Randy Shreve so far. And the 14th going to start Zach Chapman, otherwise known as Shaggy from Shaggy TV. Michael Vacchio will start there in 15th. Billy Robertson 16th. Bob the Good 17th. Alec Uber 18th. Brian Moore in 19th. John Clemaux Jr. in 20th. Pat Boyce 21st. And rounding out your field tonight, starting 22nd, as Brad White. All right, here we go. Off of corner number 2, down that back straightaway here. Lights are off. They're going to be going green this time by. So pull those belts tight. Make sure that wheels are fastened. You don't want to end up trying to drive with your glove on a steering shaft. That never turns out all that great. Off turn 4, the dirt flies here as the dust is thrown into corner number 1. And through there, look there, Landon going to the middle. And already we got a caution there on the back straightaway. Caution flies. Oh, I got to do this the primitive way here as we watch somebody here in the back. Got to see if I can get a number here. Coming there to the line, I want to say, was it back here at the back? Ended up. Couldn't quite get a hold of it there. I don't know who it was. There's Patrick Spangler, your leader at Boyce. Stephen Bixler in the 75, and he was involved. See if we got anybody else around him that we can maybe see here. They're getting the one to go here. They work there off the backstretch. You can see the 280. That's Jeff Sharp getting involved. And here we go. Back here under green, or getting ready to go back green. Coming there out of turn 4. Pace lights are on. 1 to go. Off of the corner, here we go, down that back straightaway. All right, looks like we might have something coming up here, possibly. If I can get it to work, we're going to shut this off here. And load up. Bear with me here. We might get SDK running here in just a quick moment. Everybody just bear with me here as we get it underway. I don't think I have the new sponsor up here yet. All right, here we go. Getting ready, coming off turn number 2. Let's see here. Can we get going? There we go. Again, not the way I wanted to kind of run that there for that section, but it is what it is, as they say. on it to come up. I don't know if it's going to. Now we'll get the score. That's a green flag down through the back straightaway. Up off of the corner they go. Appreciate you all bearing with me here as we've got technical issues here as we sat with SDK. Thought it was coming live here. Down off the corner. They all get rolling. Ted York having issues somewhere. Brandon Ittmer up there in front. Patrick Spangler leads the way with Dean Reynolds trying to chase him down, but Patrick way up there on that outside lane doing a great job here tonight. Up there along the top of the speedway. I work down there off of corner 3 and 4. Still nothing there on that. Try to get this to work here, and it should be okay. I don't know if it's working on your end yet or not. We're going to find out here, though. As caution is back out. Down there across the stripe. We look back here at Mason Hine. Who's there in the 89? Get a little loose there. Up off the corner, down through corner 1 and 2 here. And gets tagged here by Grandy and the 7 there. Up off the good. And that'll bring out the caution. Back live here. Not sure why this is acting the way it is. But it's definitely not wanting to act right, but at least I can at least get some information to you. All right, there we go. Now we're getting something on my end. Dean Reynolds there in a second. That means now if we hit this, go here, this, leave that set a moment here. Down off the corner, Patrick Spangler there in front. Dean Reynolds there second. Brandon Dittmer there third. McLaren there in a fourth. Ted York there in fifth. Jeremy Christensen there in sixth. As they keep rolling out there, look at Spangler out there in front. Reynolds not anywhere near him, and they roll here through 3 and 4, back around here onto the front stretch. Ted York got himself up here in the fifth as they hang on up there, down through off the corner. Caution waves once again this time. This time here for Jeremy Christensen. Waddy Christensen there, up against that outside wall, and oh no! Landis gets up there into the corner of him, and oh man, others do as well. Tough break there for Jeremy. They want to bring it on out of corner number 2. Second caution of the night, not first. It's only the first since SDK decided to wake up. And the yellow flag waves here at I-55. And this is not sponsored by Mission 22 this season. We are looking for sponsorship for the Hometown Heroes. So if you are willing to sponsor, get a hold of Coast to Coast. They are looking for different sponsors. As they come there out of turn number 4, down that, or sorry, 2, down the back straightaway through 3 and 4. Spangler out there in front, Reynolds there second, Rick Dittmer there third, Claren there fourth. Ted York back there rounding out your top 5. Shaggy, though, he's down here on the bottom, trying to make that bottom work for him. There in 7th, as he looks underneath of Landis. Oh no, Landis gets a little squirrely coming there off turn 2. Or turn 4, rather. Now they're coming out of 2, down through the back straightaway. Shaggy up into the outside wall, and he'll collect the 513, along with others. White flag or yellow flag back out on the speedway. That was coming through turn 3 and 4. I see him up here on the top side, working there off 2. Now down here through 3 and 4, Shaggy just ends up sending it a little too sideways. Jeff Barker in at 513 gets collected, and same with the 75 there, Bixler. Bixler ended up getting collected in that. Drivers doing what they can, working it through turn number 1 and 2 right now. Or I'm sorry, 3 and 4, they're coming out now. 3rd caution of the night. So as you're watching, remember, we're 1 caution ahead of what the SDK is saying. So keep that in mind here, folks. And watch them come out there. Dean Reynolds, Brandon Dittmer, Jim McLaren, Ted York, Terry Landis, Billy Roberts, Alec Uber, Mason Hine. Off corner number 4, green flag in the air. Here we go. They're down and away. Out of corner number 2. Down here through 3 and 4. Reynolds there on the bottom trying to see if there's any grip. Just look how black that track has become here tonight. Dittmer's back here in a 3rd, up there against that outside bluff. Going to see if he can work it to get around Dean Reynolds. As they're going to lap machine down there on the inside. I believe that's the 75 of Bixler down there as caution comes out. This time for Chapman. Shaggy, what'd you do? And as you see, Shaggy's back up again, gets that outside wall again. Trying just to hold it steady. Comes here into 3 and 4. And tags it, gets into the back of the 89, comes down across the track, what's an 8 there in turn 4. Turn 3 and 4 not being a friend of Zach Chapman here tonight. Now the yellow flag's out. See the pace car rolling that bottom side there through 1 and 2. Or 3 and 4 rather. 1 to go. Folks, I'm going to need to know an answer here. I don't know if it's coming through or not. If it is, I'm going to have to go in and try to figure out how to change the setting. But is admin box coming through on the stream? I kind of need to know that if admin box is sending its beats through the stream. Here they come off of turn 4. Down and away, Dittmer out there in 3rd, Reynolds in 2nd. Spangler still holds on to the lead up there along the outside line, that Lernerville line, like I like to call it. So he should feel very comfortable up there as he has driven Lernerville, or been at Lernerville, understands that outside line and how much speed it can carry. As they come here through turn 3 and 4, 2 laps left at I-55. 1 more lap, white flags in the air, down there off turn number 2, down the back straightaway here. Through 3 and 4, Patrick Spangler out there in front. He will get your victory here at I-55 here to start the season off for your 360 Wing Sprint Cars on your Hometown Heroes Wednesday night race. There you see your 3 cars coming through there. Here we are. We're going to change to this. There. All right, now we're going to get with your winners here, but first, the finishing results here as they're supposed to be. Patrick Spangler getting that win. Brandon Dittmer there second. Dean Reynolds third. Ted York there in fourth. Fifth going to Dan McLaren. Sixth going to Billy Roberts. Seventh going to Alec Uber. Pat Boyce there in eighth. Joseph Grandy there in ninth. Mason Hine there 10th. Jeremy Christensen there in 11th. Brian Moore in 12th. Bob DeGood there 13th. Jeff Barker 14th. Randy Shreves 15th. Stephen Mixer there in 16th. Jeff Barker brings it home in 17th. 18th going to go to Zach Chapman with Terry Landis there in 19th. John Clemaux Jr. there in 20th. Michael Vecchio there in 21st. And Brad Waite there in 22nd. I hope I'm saying that name right. I don't know if I am or not. But here we go. Getting with your finishing order. They come down there out. Getting with Dean Reynolds here. Fingers crossed. Good evening, Dean. How's it going?
How you doing, Mr. Fligger?
I'm doing fairly well. I don't know if that's... I didn't think so. There we go. Now we're all good. Oh, some sound settings get switched around here and trying to make sure I get the graphics card sitting okay.
There you go.
But great job out there. Just, man, really had to battle there for second and third tonight.
Yeah, I normally like to run the top, but I just didn't feel comfortable. I went up top early, and it was a little slower, so I said, you know what, I'm just going to go in the middle, because usually the middle does lock down, especially with a modified and such. And I said, well, let me see if the middle locks down, and maybe I could be okay, and see if Patrick makes a mistake, and staying ahead of Dittmer there, and because he would close in, and then he said he'd get in the wall and then close in, and I thought with the restart with 3 to go there, I thought I could hang on, and then I told Dittmer, I said I'm going to run. He was in my Discord. I said I'm going to run middle, and when I come out of every corner, I'll look in the mirror to see where you are, because I will drift up to the wall if I know I can. And coming out of turn 2, I saw him coming and had it run, so I wasn't going to block him. Anyone can run the top like that and make it stick. He's going to earn it, and going 3 and 4 and see what happens. Maybe hopefully he gets into the wall again, but he didn't. And got me coming out of 4, but that's all right. I got beat by 2 guys that really took a chance running the top, and they know how to run the top. I like to, but I just didn't feel comfortable tonight, so I ripped the middle and got me a 3rd place.
Yeah, this track seems like it got pretty black out there tonight.
It normally does. I-55, it wears the same as Husitz and Lanier. It'll get that black groove in the middle, and especially with a big block and a 358, that's actually where you got to run. You actually got to run there. But with a sprint car, you got a little bit more power, a little bit more oomph to come off, so you can make the top work. Those tracks really get hard to pass on with a modified, but with a sprint, you can actually make the outside work if you're really good enough to do that. And Patrick, they call him the high side banger for a reason, because he knows how to run up there. And Dittmer, yeah, he ran the bottom in his heat, but he knows how to run that top too. And I got beat by 2 guys that can run the top better than I can.
Well, like you said, you just didn't quite feel comfortable up there tonight.
Yeah, that's all it was. I mean, if there was a little bit more up there, I would have ran up there. Like in the heat, I felt really good up there. And, I went to the bottom during the heat because I knew I had a big enough lead to hang on, and I just wanted to play it safe and not get in the wall. But, I got the lead by running the top. But I just need a little bit more to grip up there. And, I figured sooner or later I'm going to bite it and put it in the wall. And, sometimes, you just want to get a good finish instead of trying to be the hero, and I'm too old to be the hero.
Well, I mean, starting the season off with a 3rd place podium, that's still a pretty good start to the season. You didn't tear it up, you got 3rd, and bringing it home on the podium.
It's been a real good start of the season. It's my 3rd race of Coast to Coast and my 3rd podium. So, so that's good. I won the 358s on Monday, got 3rd with the Renegades, got 3rd here. So, it's been a good start to the season. Been very happy with that. I'm going to enjoy it because the luck's not going to stay. I know me, and but we're going to enjoy it, and then we're going to go on to limited late models and see what we can do there.
All righty. Well, we'll see you out there. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank here for the 360 podium?
Yeah, well, first we got to say, hey, the 360's Hometown Heroes is open for sponsorship, so if anyone's interested, we want to keep the broadcast going and keep Adam bringing it to the homes there. So, reach out to me and we'll get you how much it costs and what you get in return and stuff. So, but we want to thank Adam for his sponsorships for limited late models and midgets. Adam, you've been a great help to Coast to Coast and helping us do our graphics and everything. So we really enjoy having you here. So we got to thank you as well. Thank my teammates FTM. I always thank them. They're always a big help to me. Congratulations to Patrick and Dittmer, and both of those guys have really helped me out in sprint cars too. So, to finish behind them, I'm okay with that. So, and thanks Coast to Coast for giving us a place to race. We're getting a lot of members in, and we're going to enjoy the spring season, and hopefully we get some more people to join us.
All righty. Well, congrats again there, Dean, and good luck in the limited lates when you get it unloaded there.
All right, Adam. Thanks a lot, man.
All right, that was Dean Reynolds there getting third tonight. Brandon Dittmer coming away with second. Good evening there, Brandon. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You ran that bottom down there a little bit, but then you kind of got comfortable up there at the top side, it seemed, and just kind of really got that outside to work for that car tonight.
Yeah, I tried going to the bottom to get around Dean, and it just unfortunately just nothing there. Dean ended up having problems on the top side, and it kind of moved into the middle, so it kind of worked out for me a little bit there.
You did a great job bringing it home there in second place tonight. Good start to the season for you. What was your thoughts on the I-55 track tonight?
Very, very top dominant. I like I-55. It's a nice little track. Sometimes you can get a little two-lane traffic out of there, but no, it's just the product of some tracks. Unfortunately, when it goes wrong, it just goes to one lane. But it's just how it is sometimes. We gotta deal with it and take the punches as you roll.
Well, you did a great job at least getting around Dean there at the end and bring it home in second. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank there for that second place podium here in the 360s?
Oh, you for the broadcast, everybody behind the scenes for Coast to Coast. Making everything run smoothly. Hopefully we can get us sponsor for this division. Hopefully keep the broadcast rolling. Venom Racing, all the boys over there, great group of guys to run with. All the boys up front for Racing Clean. This is an absolute great night for the guys up front, staying away from each other. I felt like JRB Designs for the wrap did an amazing job. We'll go check them out. And I think that's it.
Alrighty, well, congrats there tonight. And you coming out for the limited lates?
Maybe not the limited lates, but I'm going to try to be out for the midgets.
Alrighty, well, good luck, and we'll see you later on tonight then.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
All right, that Brandon Dittmer, your second place finisher. Now we'll get with that high side banger, as you heard from Dino, Patrick Spangler. Good evening there, Patrick. How's it going?
Pretty good, you?
It's going well, man. How's that 39 working out there for you tonight? I didn't realize that there was a tiny 39 on there. I just saw the big, huge X on the side.
Yeah, last minute I registered for the session, so I'm time to pick my paint. Just lost track of the time there, but yeah, that was probably the slickest most of these guys have seen. There wasn't very much tackiness at all, and then week one with our biggest car count, a small track, got to get through it, and hopefully a little bigger track next week.
Well, for being week one of the spring season here at Coast to Coast, how do you feel your night went? Obviously it went very well since you were able to put it on the podium and get that victory here to start the season.
Yeah, the heat race win was huge because I got me out front of all the mess there, and then I just had to keep out of the wall, which it was pretty sketchy up there with that fixed setup with that much gear in it. But just had to focus on keep out of the wall and keep Dino behind me.
Well, you did a great job keeping it out of the wall. I know we saw some sparks fly here and there out of a few drivers here tonight, and I believe I saw some sparks off that tail roll bar of your car as well there a couple times through the corner, but you did a great job bringing that home and bringing you that win here for race number 1 of the spring season. You got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, just you for everything you do for the league and broadcasting and all the artwork you do. Jeff, and Dan for running the league, and Dad and Uncle back home watching.
All right, great job there on that win. And are you racing any more tonight?
Probably not. I'll race probably all 3 next week, though.
All righty, well, we'll see you next week there, Pat. Just have a great night.
Thanks, you too.
All right, that'll wrap it up here from I-55 for your 360 sprints. Now we're going to head out and get with the limited late models, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back here in just a little bit.
1, 2, 3. I love it, Molly.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
My love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
There we go. That might be better there. All right, well, we're back here. We're just getting something uploaded here real fast so that we can be proper for the broadcast the way I like to be. And I apparently didn't save this the way I needed to. As qualifying's about to start, here for your limited late models. Dave coming out there, great job so far. And we'll get the times up here in just a quick second. There you go. There it is. They come there out of the corner. Watching these drivers hanging on out there, trying to get the best time they can. You're watching Billy Roberts here in the 99. And where do I gotta look here? Aha, there's what I'm after. So everybody's qualified. There you see the best times there. See if we can get the car number here to show up the way I thought it would. There we go. As the white flag waves there in qualifying, or sorry, say the thing waves. There we go. Now here, out on track, heat number 1. Heat number 1 here. Michael Vitale starting out there on pole. Randy Shreves there in second. Joseph Grandy there in third. Stephen Bixler there fourth. Gary Butzine there in fifth. Driving at number 177. Jeff Bucker with the 513 is going to start sixth. Dino will roll off in seventh. Driving at number 79. That teddy bear Ted York there in the number 09 will roll off there in eighth. With Michael Machio there in ninth. Driving at number 147. Anyone come there, and as you see, sponsorship available here for the Wednesday night series. We're looking for our main sponsorship, possibly. So there is sponsorship availabilities. So get a hold of Coast2Coast, and they will be happy to put your sponsor logo there where it says sponsorship available. That can be your logo sitting there. Nice and proud. They're coming out of turn number 4. Here, ready for the start. Green flag is out. They're down and away here in the corner number 1. And they bring it on there out of corner number 3. We're down there through 3 and 4. Back out here onto the front stretch. Randy Shreves got a great run out there in the front right now here in second place. That is Joseph Grandy with Michael Vitale up there on the top side. Little wiggle here out of these cars as they come there off turn number 4. Back across 4 laps to go here in heat number 1. For your limited late models down there off corner number 1 to go. Here through 3 and 4. Back out onto the front stretch. Vitale not giving up there. There you see Bixler back here into number 75. Parker there in the 513, just a little ways back, and we're seeing a little struggle here, trying to make passes as they work down there through 1 and 2. Once again, Vitale there in third, up off corner number 2, down through 3 and 4. 2 laps to go now, final lap here in your heat race. Randy Shreves out there in the front for heat race 1 of the spring season of 2026. And he will get the heat win here for the Heat 1 Spring 2026 victory for Randy Shreves. Here for the limited late models. We just got through watching the the 360, sorry. Here is your results for heat number 1. Randy Shreves there in first. Joseph Grandy getting second. Michael Vitale there third. Fourth going to Stephen Bixler. Fifth, Jeff Barker. Gary Budson there in sixth. Dino in seventh. Ted there in eighth. And Michael Machillo in ninth. Now we'll get with your grid here for heat number 2. Jeff Sharp will lead them off. Ryland Banks there second. Matt Barber starting there in third with Pat Boyce there fourth. Zach Chapman there fifth. Billy Roberts there in sixth. Alec Cooper 7th, Bob DeGood there in 8th, Terry Waters there in 9th. Now they head off of corner number 4, coming around there. I'm sorry, they're in corner number 2. Somebody missed the camera work. Down through corner 3 and 4 they go. Pace cars off, they're down off of the corner. Green flags in the air, they're down and away here in the corner 1 and 2. Now they headed on out there, great job as they bring it on out. Down through 3 and 4, back out onto the front straightaway. And off there through 3 and 4. Ryan Banks up here on that high side. Jeff Sharp down there on the inside, trying to make that happen there as they work off of the corner. I'm hoping I'm talking there. I just see the 16 of Matt Barber there in second out, getting around Sharp. All right, we are talking. As you see them there coming out of the corner. Great job there by these drivers. Down through turn 3 and 4. Matt Barber out there getting second. Ryan Banks comes home with the win here in heat number 2. So heat number 2 there. Here is your finished results for heat number 2. Ryan Banks, Matt Barber second. Jeff Sharp third. Pat Boyce there fourth. Billy Roberts there fifth. Bob DeGood there in sixth. Alec Uber there seventh. Zach Chapman, rather wide for Shaggy TV, there in eighth. Terry Walters there in ninth. Rounding out your field here tonight. All right, starting here. We will be back in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
white flags in the air. Here we go. Ready for the race to begin. Here we go. White flag in the air. Ready for the race to begin. Looking at your starting grid here in just a moment for your limited late models. We got Randy Shreve starting out there on the pole with Ryland Banks there in second. Joseph Grandy will roll off there in third. Matt Barber fourth. Michael Vitale there fifth. Jeff Sharp in sixth. Stephen Mixler there in seventh. Pat Boyce there eighth. Jeff Barker in ninth with Billy Roberts there in 10th. Gary Butzing there will start in 11th in that number 177. Bob DeGood will be starting in 12th. Outside row number 6 in car number 7. Row number 7 on that inside line is Dino in the number 79. Starting 13th, his outside Alec Hoover there in the in the 2 machine. Starting 14th. The Teddy Bear Ted York rolls off 15th in the 09 with Shaggy. Zach Chapman rolling off there in 16th, driving at number 72. Back there, another row is Michael Machillo there in the 147. Starting there in 17th, and Terry Waters in the 207 there tonight. And thought this should be updated as things come right there all of a sudden. Ryan Banks out there as the control car, outside row number 1. Got Randy Shreve there as the control car on the inside. Ready to do battle here tonight as they roll it on here in the 3 and 4. That pace car is going to roll it off. Down there on the bottom. Green flag is out there down and away here. Out through turn 3, or out through 1 and 2, up there on the high side. You watch there as some of these cars are getting a rewrap here real fast. As Banks is there out front. Randy there in second. Reeves there in a third. Matt Barber back here in a fourth. As Banks, his car has not come back in yet. It is thinking on it. There it is, the 76 of Ryan Banks. Randy there in second. Reeves there in third. Matt Barber there in a fourth. Working on whack through the field there. You see Zach there in the number 72, working there through the middle, down off corner number 3 and 4 now. Or I'm sorry, no, 1 and 2, as he's trying to work his way up through the field. Ryland Banks there in a second, Matt Barber there in a third. Hang on to it. Randy Shreve, great job hanging on to it there as they work through 3 and 4, back out there onto the front stretch. And you got 20 laps to go here in your limited late models tonight. Down there through turn 3 and 4, back onto the front stretch, 19 laps to go. For Joseph Grandy leading the race right now. Ryland Banks back here in third. Matt Barber trying to get up there in second. And Jeff Sharp works there down through off the corner. Barker caution is out. It's going to be for Bob DeGood. And Gary Butzing. We'll see what happened here as this caution flag waves. Coming there off the corner 4. Down here in the corner number 1. It gets into the outside wall, stacks it up here on the outside, and it gets into the outside wall. They come together there. And I think, I'm going to say that Bob DeGood lost a tire through that whole ordeal. Towed it back to the pits. And we're back as we're under caution for the first time here. In the limited late, they're stacking up side by side. They're going to be going green flag racing this time. They work there out of turn 4. Pace car pulls off. Let the dirt fly once more. They're down and away. Man, oh man. man, that inside line did not go. That stacked them up down there. Randy Shreve doing it. Or I'm sorry, no, that was Brandon Banks struggling there on the inside line. Got stacked up. Now he has to try to battle it back up there. Down on the bottom side of the racetrack, getting up there in front of Jeff Sharp. They're into number 280. Jeff Sharp getting into the backup just a little bit as they work their off turn number 2. Down through 3 and 4 to 99 there. Looking to the inside. That's Billy Roberts. Back here towards the back. We got more traffic happening as they're into the wall once again back here. Alec Goobert, they're into number 2, trying to find his groove there through the middle of the track. The 72 Shaggy whirling there through the middle as well. Matt Barber out there in front with Grandy there in second. Shreve out there in third. Vitale working there fourth, and we got another caution. Pat Boyce. Unsure exactly what happened here. Looks like something happened there in corner number 1. And they come here out of turn number 4, the 2. Uber just gets up there and slides up into Pat. And that is not what you wanted to see for sure. Gary Benzine down there on the bottom, involved in the last caution. There you see Alec Uber. Ken York out there in the 09. Caution is here for the second time tonight. Roll there through 1 and 2. Now through 3 and 4. I'm sorry, no, that is 1 and 2. Stack back up there, getting ready to go green once again. Off of corner number 4, here we go. Down the front straightaway, dirt flies. Grandy and Barber getting a decent start. Grandy now up there on the outside lane, up above. Randy Shreve as Vitale's working to the outside there. Down there on the bottom, that is the 280 there, Jeff Sharp. But in front of him is the 76 of Brandon Banks working underneath of Vitale. Vitale getting a great run there. All of 2, down through here, through 3 and 4, back out there onto the front stretch. Vitale hangs on to third, but Banks is not giving up yet down there on that bottom edge. With 11 laps to go here at I-55, the 16 there of Matt Barber working off turn number 4 through 1 and 2. Down that back straightaway again, you're seeing them work there. There you see Jeff Sharp with Stephen Bixler. Sharp down there on the bottom side of both Parker and 75 of Bixler. Dino's not far back there behind them in that number 79 as they work there off the corner. Down through the front straightaway, and oh no, the 518 gets into that inside wall. Caution will come out for Joseph Grandy. There's him coming there off turn number 4. Great run there in the 1 and 2. Just got it a little steep there and catches that inside wall. Sharp caught him a little bit. So did Banks. Banks caught him there with the right corner, or right quarter panel rather. Shouldn't be too terrible though as they get back rolling here. There's he. Randy down there on pit road after the tow. Green flag out. They went single file for that restart as we're under 10 laps to go. Up there on that high side, Michael Vitale holds on to second. Barber out there in front doing a great job as he rolls through the middle. Shreves there trying to get under near the Vitale, can't quite get there as Barber still holds on to that lead. Shreves up top behind Vitale as they work there now down the back straightaway. 6 laps to go as they work on through there. Hang on to it there, Shreves. Don't want to get too sideways. You don't want to become a sail there. As you see, Banks doing a great job getting that slide. Now here comes Shreves working back underneath. Gonna try to cross him over here through 3 and 4. Will do so. Shreves pulls it back, but no, Banks up there into the outside. Still enough to try to hang on to it, but Shreves gonna give him a little bit there as they make contact once again coming here through 3 and 4. Shreves cannot get up there to the high side. Here comes Banks up there going to the outside once again. Shreves there on the bottom. Banks is not giving Shreves the room as they work through turn 3 and 4. But look out, Sharp Cup. 2 laps to go here for Matt Barber. Michael Vitale second. Ryland Banks third as you watch them down that back straightaway here now in the 3 and 4. Matt Barber running that front position. Final lap takes that white flag here in the corner 1 and 2 for the final time for your limited late models tonight. Here through 3 and 4. Off the 4 they come. Matt Barber is your victory winner here tonight at I-55. Followed by Vitale and Ryland Banks. Randy Shreves getting 4th. Those two had a heck of a run there at the ending of that one. All right, here we go now for your feature results. Matt Barber out there getting the win. Michael Vitale there second. Third going to Ryland Banks. Randy Shreves there 4th. Jeff Sharp 5th. Dean Reynolds in 6th with Stephen Bixler there in 7th. Jeff Parker 8th. Zach Chapman there 9th. Billy Robinson 10th. Terry Walters finishes 11th tonight with Pat Boyce there in 12th. Gary Budzine there in 13th. Alec Huber in 14th. Joseph Grandy there in 15th. Ted York in 16th. Bob DeGood gets 17th. 18th. That is going to go to Michael Lucio. All right, here we go. Now, out there. We see him work around the racetrack here tonight. Great job there. Ryland Banks getting third. Good evening there, Ryland. How's it going?
Good. How's it going?
It's going well, and how do you think this night went?
Well, I think all things considered, it went pretty well. It wasn't a great start for me, so I apologize to Randy for that. It was a rough start, but after that, the racing seemed good. Matt was moving quick up there, and Randy and I ended up having a really good battle for third at the end. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we saw you guys doing the crossovers there, going through the corners, and I was kind of curious myself who was going to prevail to come out there in third position tonight.
Man, he was giving it his all, so props to him. It was great racing.
Well, it looks like you had a lot of fun, and the track didn't seem as slick here for the late models as it did for the 360s.
No, I mean, I wasn't here for the 360s, but the track still had to have, it had quite a bit of grip. I was running the bottom for a bit, and I wasn't losing ground, really. I mean, I may have gone down 1 or 2 spots, but considering how fast the top was, I was pretty impressed with it.
Well, you got sponsors, shout-outs, anybody you want to thank for getting that third place tonight?
Yeah, I want to thank Lens Cove Marina, Snap-on, Gator Tough, Billings Motorsports, and Vertex Graphics for making the wrap for me. I want to thank Youth Leaguer for sponsoring tonight and commentating for us. I thank all my friends that are here. I mean, Matt's one of them. We race all the time. I want to thank them. Thank all the guys in my Discord, and I thank Madeline, my girlfriend.
Alrighty, great job there tonight, Ryland. And are you coming out to run Chili Bowl?
Well, we'll see. I'll have a quick discussion here with Matt, and we'll see what we're thinking.
Alrighty. Well, if not, have yourself a great night. Enjoy that podium here to start your season.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
That's Ryland Bank. Now we'll get with Vitale here. Good evening, Vitaly. How's it going in that 213 LFM machine?
Pretty good, Flieger. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well up here in the booth now that SDK decided to update there, and the feature of the last races. But it looks like you've been having a blast out there at I-55 tonight.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun tonight. Matt ran a great race. It's unfortunate what happened with Grandy. He was fast, and I guess he just caught that inside wall in 1 and 2 there. But I was fortunate enough to get a restart on the outside. I think it was Shreves on the inside, so it kind of gave me a little advantage there to try to overtake him going into 1 and 2 there.
Yeah, it definitely does seem like I-55 is a top dominant racetrack most of the time.
Yeah, I thought the track was pretty racy. I know there was, I was talking with Billy. The bottom was coming in. I talked with Matt a little bit. He was trying different spots, and the bottom worked out for him. I would get a run coming off the corner, standing on the top. It just wasn't enough to keep up with that slider in 3 and 4.
You did a great job. I mean, you kept it off the wall, kept it, the car in one piece, which is always a plus here.
Absolutely.
For getting a second-place podium to start the season, that should feel pretty good here for the limited late models.
Yeah, I figured this year is the first year I've actually, I don't usually run the late models, so I figured try something different this season and maybe have a little more luck than I've had in the 358s and big blocks. So we'll give it a go.
Well, M358 and big blocks, it's tough competition here.
Oh, everybody's fast. That's the thing. Anybody can win on any night.
I had the pleasure of watching the SSR this past Sunday, doing the broadcast for them over at NARC, and they're just as quick. I mean,
yeah, I remember a couple of years back, it was a lot thinner than it is now. It's thick as thieves now. Everybody's fast.
Yeah, that for sure. Once everybody figured out how to drive them, I mean, because we got into them when they first come out, right?
Absolutely.
So, but man, what a great job there tonight, Michael. And you got sponsor shout-outs, people you want to thank for getting second place tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I always want to thank my wife for letting me come out here and do this day in and day out. Billy over at Gears Unlimited, my teammate, Jake, Randy, Terry, and my brother Junior. You for broadcasting and for sponsoring it. We really appreciate that, Fleezer.
My pleasure.
My wife in the background is on a little shop out there for you.
Well, you did a great job tonight, Michael. And are you going to come out and try the midgets at Chili Bowl?
Oh, no, I'm not going to try to ruin anybody's night.
All right. You have yourself a great night there, Michael. We'll see you next week.
All right.
I have Michael Vitaly there getting second. Now we'll get with Matt Barber. Matt, how's it going? You got the victory here tonight at I-55. To start the season, you must be feeling pretty good.
Yeah, no, I feels pretty good after I had a subpar night last night at Volusia with the 802, and figured I'd just try to have a decent night after that, try to cheer me up, and look where we are. I had a pretty good run with Grandy, and I tried to hold off Michael there at the end, and it worked out pretty good. I had fun.
You definitely did a great job, and definitely looked like you got that bottom to work there late. And from talking to Michael, he said that it looked like that bottom was coming in.
Yeah, it was. I wasn't sure. I mean, I knew the top side, you just, running the top side with lower power cars like this, it's always going to have a really good run coming off the exit. So, I mean, and it was. Like, you get a pretty decent run, but then I figured, I got to try something different here. So I tried the bottom, and it ended up sticking pretty good. So, yeah, it worked out pretty good.
I know and it all depends on the driving style of the driver as well, because I know some drivers, they can find out how to get that catfish line to work, and then there's others, they struggle trying to get it to turn that tight down there on the bottom.
Yeah, it was earlier in the night, I couldn't get it to work as well, so I just kind of stuck it up at the top to be safe, and then, because I've always had issues every now and then with these cars where I go down to the bottom and it just doesn't rotate on me and just pushes, and I lose all my momentum. But if you get it thrown in pretty good and get it set up, it works pretty damn good.
Well, I know Grandy was doing a great job there for a while, and unfortunately he ended up catching that inside wall.
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah, it was good racing with Joseph, as it always is. Hard racing with him, and it was fun, and sucks that he caught the wall, and it was going to be another good battle with him up at the front, and yeah.
Well, great job there. Congrats getting a victory. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank there for getting that win?
Definitely Vertex Graphics for getting me this wrap. He just did this one. Matches Trevor Drew. Of course, TBR Sim Sports, all the boys that I race with, Chad Lackey, Ryland Banks, Shane Billings, Joey Lattiser, all the boys. Of course, Trevor Drew that I race with all the time. And, of course, you, Adam, for putting on the broadcast, and for Regal Wraps for sponsoring the division. Thank you very much. And Dean from Super Dirt Car Series. And, yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right, well, great job there, Matt. And are you going to try your luck at Chili Bowl, or are you calling it good night?
I might call it there. I'll take my win and run with it for now tonight.
All right, we'll see you next week there, Matt. Have yourself a great night.
Yep, thank you. You too.
All right, Matt Barber, your winner here in the limited late models tonight. As we'll get set and ready to roll here once again. We'll be back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. We got more racing coming up. This time, we go over to Chili Bowl for the midgets. Should be a fun time. Don't go nowhere.
1, 2, 3. I love it, Molly.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
Our love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners. Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
Alrighty, back here from the Chili Bowl now, as we see we got about 6 drivers signed up here so far. We got Steve Marr out there, Brandon Templeton running some laps. Ted York ran a few. You see them coming down there through off the bottom side of the racetrack. Up there across the top, down through 1 and 2. They work up there against that outside wall and down across the stripe. Through 1 and 2 here. You see the 888 Steve Marr there. Working off turn 4. See if anybody else is going to join here. And they work down through off the front stretch. Pretty good times there, but Brandon Templeton having the best time there. Whoop. Sorry, I'm here talking in there. You're not hearing me. But Brandon Templeton there with an 11.016 here tonight. This is your Regal Wraps Midgets from Chili Bowl tonight. Now you see them down there on pit road. York in that number 09 for SSR Elite. Brandon Templeton out there on track in the number 31. Getting some laps in there, getting comfortable with the track and the car. As you see him work down there. Oh, caught the inside lip there just a little bit. That bank could go and can spell disaster. If you hit it wrong there, they work out of the corner. Steve Marr possibly coming back out on track. There he is. The 888. Now Steve Marr there. Out of turn number 2. Down that back straightaway. Can't merge until you pass that blue cone. And now he'll get onto that bank there a little bit. Working through 3 and 4. As Templeton's not far behind him. As you see him work there through middle and slides up there to the top side. Off of turn 2, down through 3 and 4. Getting that midget spun around there. The dirt flies here at Chili Bowl. Jack Hitt coming on in here now in the 217 Hooters machine, if I remember the paint scheme correct. As you watch him roll up there, that's Brandon Templeton up against that outside wall. The 888 Steve Marr there on the bottom side of him. There they work there off. Templeton currently your fastest out there. Marr 5th fastest with an 11.535. Struggling to find that little bit of extra speed, but Templeton, he probably has that speed because he was first out here on a fresh track. So it's tough to beat whenever the track changes so much to get these drivers out here to see exactly what goes on. There we got Templeton out there. Still running some laps. More there getting some laps in. Still waiting for Jack Hitt to fully get his car unloaded. Now they roll down there out up corner number 2. And here comes Templeton down there onto the bottom side. Going to park it down there on top of the curb. As Moore there runs and checkered flag is out for warm-ups. We're going to be getting to qualifying. Qualifying about to take place. As you see, Brandon Dittmer there at top of the board at the moment. Templeton there in second on the board right at the moment, but he's coming out there, and he's going to have to come back around and take it back to the pits. I don't know if he's going to get black flagged or not. We'll see here. Yes, he does. Templeton with a black flag. All because he didn't merge properly. There you see Dittmer's Brandon Templeton. If he keeps running, it's going to be a no time. Yeah, Dittmer's up there along the outside, working through 3 and 4. In at number 83. Templeton with an 11.131. So even with the black flag, he will go and get the fast lap. Jeff Barker there with an 11.539. Templeton with an 11.099. There you see Ted York with an 11.455. Jeff Barker, he's got an 11.532. Marr with a 11.975. Here you see, there's the Hooters machine, the 217 of Jack Hitt. Off of corner number 2, working down through, off of 3 and 4 now. Now he's up there against the outside of the raceway, down across the stripe. He will have, what fourth time? An 11.371 for Jack Hitt. Now he works there through 3 and 4, going to get it down there along the bottom, going to keep it going. And he will end up with a... I don't think he's going to improve his time any, with an 11.371. Gary Budzine not taking the track here. We saw Jack Hitt out there just running some laps. Try to go and get this car figured out and situated for him. If interested in the sponsorship ability, or if you want to join Coast to Coast, down below at a link at FFTV, we do have it in the description over there for you to join. And then down there, I don't know if there is one here at Coast2Coast Racing Network or not, as that is where our main broadcast is at Coast2Coast Racing Network here on YouTube. Secondary to FFTV. So Coast2Coast Racing Network, your main source for all your Coast2Coast Racing League action. Qualifying hands, here we go, getting ready for the start of your heat. We got 7 drivers taking the grid. Brandon Templeton, Jack Hitt in second. Ted York will start on the inside there in row number 2 with the 09 to his outside. Brandon Dittmer there in the 83 will start for it. Jeff Barker in 5th in the 513. Stephen Marr there in 6th with the 888. And then there in 7th is Gary Budzine with the 177, which I do not see him taking the grid as they work there out through, getting ready for the green flag. Now they roll it down out of the corner. Here they tumbled it down there on the inside. Jack Hitt on the outside as your top 2. Ted York there in 3rd, 6 laps the distance. Or 8 laps the distance, sorry. Now they're down there out of corner number 3 and 4. Getting ready to catch that green flag from Barney the flagman. Down here in the corner number 1, the dirt and dust fly. And already they're bouncing off the curve. Down there through, off of the corner. Here through 3 and 4. There you see Dittmer. He's trying to get up there to Jack Hitt as they roll there off turn number 4. Down through turn 1 and 2. 7 laps here at Chili Bowl left to go in the heat. As you see, Templeton down there on the inside, really using that curve to help turn the car. Dittmer there rolling up there, sliding up the racetrack. Ted York falls there in the 4th. Pops it up there. Dittmer getting a little bit of wheelie action coming through turn 3 and 4. Jack Hitt runs that top side. Templeton doing a great job hanging on to that lead. Down there along that inside line. Periodically catching that cushion to help that car turn. There you see Dittmer down there now as well. Getting around the underside of Hitt, but Hitt has a great run off turn number 2. He's going to try to mimic that off here of turn number 4. Can't quite do it as Dittmer hangs on to 2nd. Templeton out there in the front. Jack Hitt still trying to battle there. You see Dittmer there on the bottom. Through 1 and 2. 2 laps to go for Brandon Templeton, Brandon Dittmer, Jack Hitt, Ted York, who's back here in 4th, Stephen Marr in 5th. Working here off turn 4. White flag here through 1 and 2. Last time for these guys in the heat race. Down that back straightaway, Dittmer, Jack hit Ted York. As they work now off up the corner, Templeton gets it. Dittmer ends up getting two sideways. That's going to hit second over to Jack hit with Dittmer there. In a third, Ted York fourth, Jeff Barker fifth, Stephen Moore there in sixth. Your Heat 1 results are as follows. Brandon Templeton, Jack hit. Brandon Dittmer, Ted York, Jeff Barger, Steve Moore, and Gary Budzine there is getting your heat race. We'll be back after this short message from our sponsor. Don't go anywhere. Your main event coming right up.
Thank you to our sponsors and partners for the 2025-2026 winter season.
All right, back here at the Speedway, getting ready here as the drivers finish warm-ups. All right, back here at the Speedway, getting ready. These drivers finish warm-ups. Down there off turn number 4, you watch there. There's the 888 bar. There goes Jeff Barker in the 513. There is the flag. We're getting ready for your heat, or for your main event, your feature here for your real wraps. Midgets here at Chili Bowl tonight. Starting there on grid. It's going to be Brandon Templeton starting out there on the pole with Jack Hitt there in second. Brandon Dittmer there third. Ted York there in a fourth, driving the 09. Third row inside is going to be the 513 of Jeff Barker with Steve Barr there in the 888. There in sixth position. And in the 117 of Gary Budzine there in seventh. All right, here we go. Down through turn 1 and 2. As they are underway here, getting ready for the start of the race. Gary Budzine not out there to take the grid. Jack Hitt, Brandon Dittmer, Ted York, Jeff Barker, Stephen Moore, your 6 drivers out here battling for points. 55 laps to distance as they head here around Chili Bowl tonight. Pace car pulls off and hands it over there to Templeton. Templeton, a great run there in the heat race. Down there along the bottom. He's just got to make sure that he doesn't catch that curb too bad. as they now roll there off turn number 4. Green flag in the air, the dirt and dust fly through turn number 1. With Templeton out there in front, Dittmer doing all he can, gets on that curb. And look out, here comes Ted York now up there to the high side. As Jack Hitt up there to the high side. Ted York and Dittmer back up there as Templeton there on the bottom ends up letting Jack Hitt around. As that top side all of a sudden got a big bite. And now here comes Templeton back along that bottom side again. Jack Hitt rolls to the middle, slider up there to the top on through 4. As Templeton still tries to battle on that inside line. Down there off turn number 2. Templeton hangs on to second. Dittmer there in third with Ted York now trying to battle his way back up in there. But Dittmer just a little bit better. Jeff Barker down on the inside underneath of York. And that's giving York a little bit of a run there. He can't quite get down to the bottom where he thinks he might want. I think Barker doing a great job down there on that inside. Templeton now running middle to high line as they work there through 3 and 4, sliding up there into that high group. Here comes Dittmer looking to the inside, now up there on the high side of 1 and 2 down that back straightaway. Here through 3 and 4, Templeton back down there to the inside. That's Dittmer up there on the high side, got the run there off of 4. Templeton falls back now into third with Barker working that line behind him. Ted York still works that high side if he can. Up there against the top. Dittmer there in second. Jack Hitt up there to the top. Templeton works here in third with Jack Hitt still leading the way. Out there in front. Off of 4, here they go. Down across the line, the Hooters machine of Jack Hitt. Out there in front, Templeton, and caution is out for Dittmer. Not sure what happened to Dittmer and Jeff Barker. We're going to take a look at it here with the On the Pole instant replay. Dittmer gets onto that outside lane and up and over. And it looks like Jeff Barker down there on the inside getting in up over the curb and into the bottom concrete barriers. So unrelated, but still trouble there for the driver. This is their first caution. Whites are out. Last time around here, pace car should be pulling in. And does so, and hands it over there to Jack Hitt. Jack Hitt out there in front, Templeton up there on the high side. Jack getting down in the way, he's going to try to beat him there into the corner, and he does so. Now back up there to the outside lane, gets 2 sideways, gets a bump from Templeton. Templeton ends up getting tangled with Ted York. Back there, Dittmer also. So Ted York falls all the way back, as now Barker has the lead. With Jack Hitt trying to chase him down. Moore there in third. Dittmer there in fourth with Templeton down on the inside now. 13 of 55 laps on the board and soon to be complete as Barker comes out of turn 4. 13 complete here in Chili Bowl. 55 the complete distance. Ellie Jack Hitt there running second. Moore there in third at 888. Dittmer back there in fourth. Giving it all he's got. Templeton as well. Ted York falls back there in the sixth. After getting caught up there and almost flipped on its side. And watching there, Barker still with the lead. Jack Hitt there in second. Dittmer there in fourth, trying to chase down Moore, who's in third. You see Templeton there on the inside. Yeah, they work there off of 2 now. Barker up there on that outside line. Jack Hitt on the bottom. Steve Moore there in third as there comes Dittmer around. He's getting third. As Moore's there underneath him. Dittmer, great job working that outside line here at lap number 19. Going to complete the pass and he'll move up there in the third. Jack Hitt there in second, they're all trying to chase down Jeff Barker as he rolls the bottom there through 1 and 2. Rolls the bottom through 3 and 4 again here as he comes off, getting a great run off the bottom edge of the Chili Bowl circuit here tonight. As Jack Hitt still continues to hit away at that outside line up there at the top. Down there off board, down here with 22 of the 55 complete. They keep it rolling down that back straightaway. A little short slider up there through 3 and 4. Barker out there in the front. Dittmer in third. There's the Templeton working that inside line there in fourth, trying to get around him. Moore falls back into fifth. Ted York, is he going to be able to make any ground up to get fifth away from Moore? I'm not sure. I see Barker coming down there through turn 3 and 4. Back out here onto the front stretch. Jack Hitt there second. Brandon Dittmer there third. Templeton there fourth. Steve Maher there fifth. Ted York there sixth. With Gary Budzine not racing here tonight. Jack Hitt up there on the top side. 30 laps to go. Off through corner 1 and 2. Barker leads the way with Hitt there second. Dittmer there in third. Templeton fourth. Maher there in fifth. Ted York there sixth. Gary Budzine, as we said, not taking the grid here tonight at all here in the midgets. They got Jack Hitt up there on that high side. Getting a run now at Barker. And Jack Hitt was making that outside work there before the last caution. If he can get around there and get on that outside, he could stand a shot here. Through 1 and 2. Caution back out, and that's going to bring Jeff Barker back into the picture here as Dittmer, once again, up and over and on that outside wall. Almost similar to what you saw him do earlier tonight. And he comes down there, off of 2, down through 3 and 4, and just up there. Or I'm sorry, no, that was 1 and 2. Now here through 3 and 4. Oh no, that's Templeton that I'm watching there get hooked up there. Good hook there on the bottom curve. Let's look at Dittmer. As Dittmer is the reason for the caution. Coming there out of 2, down here into 3 and 4. Up there against that outside wall. Bags that outside wall just a little bit, and then up and around here coming into 3. And tough break there for Dittmer. Green flag back out. Here they go. Jeff Barker as the leader. Jack Hitt up there on that outside lane, up above a Templeton. Dittmer with a black flag. Running back here in 6. Jeff Barker as your race leader. Working that bottom side, but Jack Hitt up there along the outside. We saw him working that outside all night long. Just keeps pounding away at it. Trying to make it work for him as he gets a good run there off the corner. But that bottom side still hanging tough, and you see Templeton there. Here comes Jack Hitt up there on the high side. Barker now catching that berm down there on the inside. As Jack Hitt works that top side, Templeton is there. Jack Hitt off 2, through 3 and 4 as you watch him up there on that high side. Drag racing there off of 4, through 1 and 2 once again. 22 laps there, and I think Dittmer might need to be checking to make a pit stop here. He's got a black flag rolling there through in the corner 1 and 2. Jack Hitt has the lead temporarily as they come there out of 2. Jeff Barker there in second. Now Templeton goes to the outside. He's going to look to see if he can get through the outside there around Barker. Templeton getting a good run there, and will do so. He'll get around Jeff Barker. That inside line just not quite where it is at the moment to be able to gain the traction you need. Not up there in a battle. Jack Hitt as he's now in the lead once again here with 19 laps to go. The Hooters machine leads here at Chili Bowl down through 1 and 2. Barker there third. Dittmer there fourth. Ted York back here fifth. Steve Maher in sixth. And Gary not taking the grid, doing a start park here tonight. Off a 2. through 3 and 4 with 17 laps to go. Soon to be 16 as Jack Hitt works his way through 1 and 2 down there on the bottom. With Templeton there in second, Barker there third, Dittmer in fourth. Up off the corner, Barker down there on the inside. Dittmer on the outside now, trying to make up some ground. Templeton working that high side. Now he drops back down there to low. Gets on that bottom curve to stay in front. Barker, Jack Hitt now running the slider through 1 and 2 down that back straightaway. Going to run a slider here through 3 and 4. That seems to be working for him as Templeton's working that bottom along with Barker. The two of them together trying to get that bottom to come in. As you see Dittmer up there on the top side of the racetrack. And Dittmer, another problem, into the outside wall again. Caution, back out for Brandon Dittmer. Chili Bolt not playing nice with the 83. Brandon Dittmer as he watched come there off turn 2. He gets up there a little high once again. Tap, 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 and around he goes through into turn 3. That'll be enough to bring out caution. Number 3. Eddie Templeton there in second. Barker there in third. Jack Hitt on the front. Work down there off the corner, number 1 and 2. Brandon Templeton there in second. Jeff Barker third. Single file restart as Jack gets him underway here. Off corner number 4, they're down and away. 11 laps to go. Templeton works the bottom side. Can't quite get there. Jack Hitt up on that top side. Got to make sure he doesn't get too loose up there. He runs that short slider there through 3 and 4, battling that outside line. But Templeton is there on that inside, trying to make that pass. As Jack Hitt's getting the run there off the corner. Great run down the back straightaway. Here through turn 3 and 4. Once again up there on the top. Getting there side by side with Templeton. Got to try to, oh no, Jack Hitt into the outside wall. That's not going to help none there, as that'll now hand it over to Templeton for the time being. Now Jack Hitt's got to really try to put the power to it to get back up there to battle Templeton there out front. Jack Hitt second, Barker there third, Ted York here in fourth. Up there along the outside line, just trying to keep it going forward. As you see there, Templeton, Jack Hitt there in second, Barker in third. As these drivers have 6 laps to go as they cross this line. And look out, Jeff Barker getting a little loose there coming out of turn 4. Had to let off and gather it up. Gets it back going again, but that'll put Ted York now there in the third position. 5 laps to go for Templeton as he's up there on top. Jack Hitt down there on the bottom side. Caution is out. Wait, green flag. I'm confused. Templeton up there on top. Barker there, Moore there in third. Ted York in the pits along with Jack Hitt. I'm unsure exactly what happened there. I see Moore now up there in the third. Templeton there out of turn 4. Final lap for Templeton as he's down there along the bottom side. He has to keep it straight for 2 more corners. Here's 1. And there's 2 as they come there off of 4. Brandon Templeton, your winner here tonight at Chili Bowl, in the number 31, taking the victory for your Wriggle Raps Midgets. Brandon Templeton. I'm looking here at your final results. Brandon Templeton there in first. Jeff Barker there second. Steve Mara there in third. Ted York there fourth. Jack Kent fifth. Brandon Dittmer there in sixth. Templeton's our winner. Gary Bazine there in seventh tonight. All right, now to get with our winners here. Steve Mara there in the 888. I don't see anybody here in the waiting room yet. Looking for Templeton, Barker, and Moore. All right, we'll start with Templeton, our winner. Good evening here, Templeton. How's it going?
Oh, doing pretty good here myself. How about you?
Doing well. Man, you had a great run out there and definitely had the battle there with Jack Hitt. And I'm not sure exactly what happened to him there at the end.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him either. I think I heard a bang, like he might have touched the wall or something. I'm not sure. But, yeah, it was tough racing. It gets real tricky at that little track and those little cars. The weight starts shifting on them, and they try to buck and turn right when you're thinking they're going to go left and all kinds of crazy stuff. But hung on, stuck to the bottom. You know, it didn't always seem like the fastest way, but it was the safest way, and it got me there at the end.
Well, we definitely saw that it was the safest way, considering the night Brandon Dittmer had.
Yeah, I saw him pass me. I know it said he was the fastest lap, and then I saw him get in the wall a couple times, and that's kind of the nature of the beast. It's fast up there, and it's very risky.
And we definitely saw that tonight. And you were able to hold on there and get the win and to start the season off here in the Regal Wraps Midgets. How do you think you felt for your first race of the spring season here at Coast to Coast?
Ready to go this season. Hopefully get in a few more classes and do some more racing than the last season or two. Got some new hardware under the hood, so going to test it out, see what we can do. So looking forward to it. Got to thank Jay with Dirt Track Bank, everybody at Hammer Down Racing, Joe, Kurt, Brian, Mike, you for doing the broadcast, and Regal Wraps and all that for sponsoring the midgets, everybody at Coast to Coast, Dean for doing everything in the background, everybody that helps out, and Jack for helping admin the midgets year after year. He takes care of that, so thanks to him.
All right, great job there tonight, Brandon, and we'll see you next week, hopefully. And now we'll get with Jeff Barker, our second place finisher. Good evening there, Jeff. How's it going?
Good, Adam. How's it going, buddy?
It's going well, man, and a great run there. Wasn't quite sure who was going to come out on top tonight. I mean, there was a lot of risk running that top line tonight.
Yeah. Well, the fuel, big deal. I kind of saved for the first half of the race in case I had to use the top half later. I don't know, kind of paid off, I guess.
So you're saying fuel became a factor there at the end?
Oh, yeah, that's Jack and Ted both ran out of gas.
Okay, I was wondering what happened to Jack.
Yep. Yeah, we had one, according to iRacing, we had about one and a half spare laps at the beginning. So, you got to see what it says. Beginning, it said 50.
So you really had to play throttle control tonight?
Oh, yeah.
In more ways than one.
Yeah.
You didn't want it getting too loose through the slick, and you didn't want to burn too much fuel.
Yep, exactly. I couldn't hold a good line. Wasn't real happy with driving, but it worked out, I guess.
Well, I mean, it worked out. You got second, and as you know, some of them say it's better to be lucky than good some nights.
Yeah. I missed the line a lot. I was trying to put one wheel on the berm all the way around and kept pushing up. but I didn't hurt anybody, so.
Yeah, that's a tough break whenever you end up running out of fuel. I know I've seen guys do it in officials too.
Yep.
Forget to change their setup going from the B's into the feature, and then, wait, I don't have enough fuel in this. Well, you're screwed now.
Oh, yeah. You're doing really, really, really good, and suddenly realize.
Yeah, I seen guys start on the pole or second place up there. They got a fast car, but yeah, they forget that fuel. You kind of need that to go forward.
What's going on here at 8 laps, though? I don't have my heat race set up. Rats.
Oh, but man, great run there tonight, Jeff, and great start to the season here for the spring season at Coast to Coast.
Yeah, we got a good count so far everywhere. We were short a couple of guys tonight that had things happen at the last for midget. We have 2-3.
Well, you guys seem to be pretty consistent here with the midgets, ranging between 5 to 9 drivers, depending on the week.
Yep.
So.
Yep, we'll work on it.
Would like to see more, but I mean, you guys still put on a heck of a show every week.
Yeah, well, we try. Thank you.
So, great job. You got sponsor shout-outs. Anybody want to thank for getting that second place tonight?
Oh, just Grip Hacks, iRacing Platinum. No, I'm good. Just thank you for hanging out, putting on broadcast, and good to see you for helping have a good group of people and all that fun stuff.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here at Coast to Coast. I'm glad to be a part of it.
All right, well, glad to have you.
So, congrats again there, Jeff, and we'll see you next week, if not tomorrow night.
Oh, hopefully tomorrow night. We'll see what we can do.
Well, I'm hopefully going to be racing tomorrow night, and we'll see if we can do any better this season.
Okay, well, we'll see you there, sir.
All righty. Have yourself a great night.
You too. Bye.
So that's Jeff Barker there, your second place finisher. And I do not see Steve Marr anywhere. Great job on him hanging on for third, keeping enough fuel in it, as you heard, to get to the end. And man, oh man, what a night of racing it was. Hopefully you all enjoyed it here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. And if you happen to catch it over there at Flieger Farm TV, and if you are over at Flieger Farm TV and want to join Coast to Coast and the Coast to Coast Racing Network platform stuff, go ahead and look them up. The link is there in the description. It's C2CRL.com. That is C2CRL.com. So be sure to check that out, whether you're at Coast to Coast Racing Network or over at Flieger Farm TV. They will be glad to have more cars here to run with the competition that is very tough. So thank you all for watching. Have yourself a great night. We will catch you tomorrow night for the Pro Late models after we do some racing ourselves with the big block modified. Shaggy TV will start it off with the modifieds, and then we'll swap seats come the Pro Late. So see you tomorrow night at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Good night.